I'll go through my typical player interview. I'll get to know them, I'll get them comfortable. So tell me a little bit about your putting lately. I'll put the blast sensor on their 7-iron, and I'll start there, and I'll get some basic numbers about where their speed, their timing, their tempo is with their 7-iron. I'll do the same with the driver. I'll use blast for the mini purposes to identify what the player does from the very beginning. If they have tendencies and ball flight patterns where the ball misses left or misses right, and it's consistent, then we'll draw it back to looking at their timing numbers of their back swing first, and then their forward swing, down swing second. And that's the first thing that I'll consider, so that if they take the club back and we see that their timing numbers are very inefficient, then we have to expect down through impact through to their finish that the timing numbers are going to be quite inefficient as well. That allows me to add a layer of learning for them and build a skill set so they can actually develop better awareness for aim and alignment. We can work on processes and routines so they can walk into the shot. And then it's really a set key that we're working towards to help them develop better awareness for how their actual timing and their golf swing is going to become more efficient. I like the capabilities of the Blast Connect video analysis, where you can basically draw the lines, you can tie it into the metrics that are available for you, but the convenience of doing it right then and there on your app, right then and there on your phone, and then having those capabilities to communicate directly to the client, and then having them having the capability to send a video right back to you using their Blast device, and you're uploading that swing, you're looking at that swing, you're adding audio feedback and analysis to that swing, and then you're sending that right back to them for immediate response. It's a remarkable tool. It's a simplified tool for them to be able to benefit with their golf game. If you get a player that needs some sort of auditory feedback and response that Blast provides when they make a swing and hit a shot and they hear a number, if they understand that that particular swing took too little or too much time, they can relate that, they can change that next swing, and they can make an immediate adjustment, which for the most part, it might take 2 or 3 swings for them to see some sort of immediate response and reaction. But I think for the most part, if they hear that cue and they hear whatever number is generated for their swing that's reflective of their timing, they're going to be able to make a pretty athletic, quick adjustment to whatever they need to change. So my junior golf program essentially was put in a position where I had academy classes, I had on-course playing sessions, I bundled training aids and I bundled swing aids that would be vital for that junior golfer to use. And for instance, no better training aid than the Blast motion golf system that was bundled in my junior golf program. And essentially they got to become trained in how to use it. They became trained in how to benefit from those multitude ways of actually utilizing the sensor and the tools. And that helped us from a coach and a player perspective so that we can actually make progress in the right direction. That was something that, for the most part, I think is leaps and bounds important to include some sort of tool that they can use to get better and better with their game. On numerous occasions, I'll have a lot of junior golfers that will send me videos of their actual swing right after a tournament where they've played great, and immediately that gives us a chance to validate exactly why they played well, what they did during the swings, if they were looking at their full swing, or if they're looking at their short game or their putting. It's a great sense of feedback, and I can give them some solid response on that, which is value added. The students have great responses when it comes to Blast motion golf and the system and the sensor, because ultimately it's a simple tool they plug on their golf club, they connect it with their phone, and they get immediate use, immediate feedback from it. And if their game falls apart and they progress, they generally go right back to that tool, and it gets them right back on track with understanding their tendencies. And I think that's an important thing from a player understanding their tendencies. Blast monitors that, and it leads to higher levels of efficiency for their practice plan when they're on their own. I think a coach that's not using Blast is wasting their time, and you're putting your player in a position that is not really benefiting themselves because they're not making the improvements that they should. And at the end of the day, it's a simple tool, and it's devoted towards certain aspects of the game, like putting and like short game and like full swing. And once you develop those skills, then you can actually teach them how to play the game. And that's what we're struggling with. We need to teach our players how to play the game once we develop all these mechanical skills. I don't know if blast motion golf and the business itself has really scratched the surface with the golf industry. I think there's so much more growth to be had with so many more PGA golf professionals to get on board with how this system is going to help them with their coaching, with monitoring their players' practice plans and their practice schedules and their performance tracking. And I think there's so many tools that Blast has to offer. So I think, there's so much that's yet to come from the continued development and partnership with the PGA professionals and all the golfers in the world that, we're trying to help become better players. I feel like I've been on board with Blast since day one. I was part of a unique group of guys that came together and were exposed to the technology and the vision behind it. And I just felt since day one it was something that is going to bring out better golf for my players, and that's at the end of the day all I care about. You can buy all these different types of technology, but for $149 and the support and the team that you work with Blast, it's a fantastic partnership that benefits not just myself as a coach, but it really brings out the best in my players, and that's really truly all I care about. So you can use all the different fancy tools out there and training aids out there, but if something's gonna get to the player quicker and faster and more effective, and they're gonna be able to gain better results, and they're gonna be able to see it and validate those types of results, and it saves me time explaining or demonstrating, I've done my job in simplifying the improvement of that player's game.